Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video, and as you can see, it's definitely something different. And this is something again that I have been dying to do for the last couple years, probably a couple months, is do a playoff basketball recap. Just talk about basketball and sports. I've been doing pretty much video games, Call of Duty for the last couple months, mixing in trading cards, digital trading cards, Panini, and stuff like that. But being that COVID-19 is pretty much over, I have a little bit more time to do different things. So what I want to do is just kind of recap where we're at right now in the playoffs, the 2021 playoffs. And it's going to be literally a recap for me because I've been kind of busy and I have some free time. And you're going to hear some thunder in the background because it's storming outside, but most of it had passed. And I was going to do this a little bit earlier, but it started storming pretty bad, and it's been going for like almost an hour now. So as you can see, I'm going to recap the West, and then I'm going to go to the East. I'll let you know up front, and that's another reason why I'm doing this now, is right now the Nets, which is my home team, are tied 2-2. I didn't want to do it in the finals. I didn't want to do it maybe the end of the season. I figured now would be the best time because they're pretty much deadlocked with the Milwaukee Bucks. So if they make it to the finals, which I don't want to jinx them, um, I didn't want to look like a front runner because I've always liked the Nets. I had season tickets at one point when they were in New Jersey. Then they went to Newark and then eventually went to Brooklyn, where they're at now. And I've always been a fan of the Nets to Jason Kidd era. I'll be honest, I think when they traded for Jason Kidd back then is when I really became a hardcore Nets fan. Prior to that, I was a Michael Jordan fan and a couple other teams like the Spurs and the Bulls. Yeah, the Bulls and the Spurs, and then the Bulls again when they had D Rose. But anyways, I'm gonna start on the West. So I just wanted to kind of give you where I'm at, so you don't so I don't look like I'm a front runner or anything like that. But again, this is all new to me. Also, I really have not followed any playoffs this year, couple games and stuff like that, especially with Zion. So first round of the West, the Jazz beat the Grizzlies 4-1, and again, as you can probably tell, a lot of these teams I've never seen in the playoffs in a while. It's been a while since a lot of them were in the playoffs. Playoffs have been like really good, like the Suns. In the next bracket, or set of games, it was Dallas got beat by the Clippers, and the Clippers are again, in my opinion, one of those teams where um, they're so good they need to actually um, make it to the finals. Of course, the Jazz are the better team because they're number one, but on paper, I just kind of I'm one of those people. I'm used to Kawhi being really good. It's just, and then again, the Clippers aren't even there. Maybe I'm thinking like the old school Clippers, um, with Blake and DeAndre Jordan, and I guess reality is he's pretty much just there with Paul George and maybe a couple other players. So I myself, maybe when I get to the next page, I'll go over the teams and stuff like that, or when I get down maybe to this part. So Denver beat the Blazers again. Denver were the better team, but I just keep thinking or remembering Portland being good. So it's definitely, as they say, the changing of the guards, where different teams are in there now, and a lot of them are a lot better than they used to be. And the last set of games proved that for sure, where everybody's used to the Lakers being good, but the Suns are good now, and they beat them 4-2. So pretty much it was 4-1, 4-3, 4-2, and 4-2. So those were probably easy first round matchups, in my opinion. Then I'm going to go to the East, and I'm going to go back to the West. So in the East, no surprise, Sixers are pretty much one of those teams people are predicting they're the number one team in the East to go to the finals. The Knicks got beat by the Hawks. That was a little bit surprising because I live in the New York area, and they do talk up the Knicks pretty good. Recently, they've been talking them up. Milwaukee swept the Heat. That I was a little bit surprised about. And then the Nets won against the Celtics 4-1. So back to the West. I went through that pretty quick. I didn't want to drag this on. Um, It's the Jazz and the Clippers. Obviously, the Jazz have the better record. Donovan Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll click on the matchup. I'm just kind of careful that videos don't play and then I'll get copyrighted. So Donovan Mitchell, Paul George. So that's pretty much what I have been expecting. 3 points, 6 points. That was a big win for the Clippers. So the Clippers could actually be winning, but you know what? Unless, something happened and it's not as close as it looked, because that happens a lot in sports. So back to the West, Denver and Phoenix. Phoenix swept already? That's crazy. Oh yeah, they're in there already. So that's pretty not surprising, but in the same way, I have not seen the Suns pretty decent maybe since they have like Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire back in the day. So this is going to be a pretty good game. Pretty good game. I know who is expecting Chris Paul. Also, Chris Paul is the leader. And Jokic. But I'm not going to go over every single player, every single stat, every single score. I just want to kind of do this. Let me know what you think, the format. Maybe I'll go more in depth. This is a game or a series that you guys want to talk about. I was even thinking about doing like maybe a podcast where people can ask questions, or we can all talk about sports. I'm not the greatest with basketball right now. I know in the 90s I definitely were, in the 2000s. But if you guys want to chit chat with sports or something like that, let me know. Back in the East, so maybe I'll do my prediction. So Sixers are beating the Hawks, but that game, that's why I have this up, that game is 3 points with 49 seconds left. So hopefully if it doesn't go into overtime, I should have this completed by the time that game is over. Or I'll maybe just kind of string it along a little bit, stretch it out until we get a final score, so I have an idea. If Philly goes up 3-1, that's pretty tough to come back from. Now this again is very surprising. Well, it's not surprising because you know what I think this is, if you want my honest opinion. When you are the number 1 team, the number 2 team, the pressure is on you so much. I think the 3rd seed for the Bucks takes the pressure off of them, puts it on Brooklyn, so you can relax. You can play relax. You'll hit your foul shots. You hit open shots a little bit better. You'll be playing smarter and relaxed. The pressure's not on you to fail, and that's the thing. So many people, when you're on top, they want you to fail. If you haven't been there yet. Now, I know 76ers are proving that they deserve the number 1 spot. But I bet you Milwaukee probably was okay going in as a 3rd seed because it takes so much pressure off of them. I know the same is the NCAA tournament. Some teams don't want, and players don't want, the number 1 seed in every bracket because it puts the pressure on you. Some of them want to go in kind of like top part of the bracket, but not all the way up top. Maybe middle to the top bracket. I know people want to play close to home and stuff like that. But the Milwaukee Bucks, if they end up winning, I bet you it's because the pressure's off of them and the pressure's on Brooklyn. The pressure's on you not to win, but it's on you not to fail. So that's crazy with Brooklyn. I predict, if anything, I bet you the Bucks are okay being the number 3rd seed. So as far as what I think is going to happen, if this isn't already, well, that might take a little bit longer. 40 seconds, there are probably a bunch of timeouts, so that's probably going to get, and fouls, so that's probably going to get stretched out. I wish I could stretch this out a little bit longer to see what's going to happen with that game. But in the meantime, let's see. Utah's probably going to win. Phoenix, it's probably going to go to a game. Oh, that's going to be so tiring for them. It's probably going to go to game 7. That's probably going to be a very, very tough matchup. It's probably more than likely going to go to game 7. The Jazz have. It's going to be a tough game, so I'm just going to go with maybe the Jazz because they have home court. Again, I don't know every single player, and I don't want to. I didn't expect this game to actually still be going on, to be honest with you. Because that 40 seconds could be a long time. So maybe I'll just save that for next time. I don't want to stretch it out too much. But as far as like the East, it's definitely going to be the Sixers, unless for some reason they hit a 3, it gets tied, and goes to overtime, and they hit a 3, it goes to overtime, and they sneak out a win or something like that. So I'm gonna just go with the Sixers. This one I might actually go with Milwaukee because my luck is terrible, and like I said, I think the pressure's off Milwaukee. Now the pressure's on Brooklyn. That they could just kind of like play more relaxed and loose instead of playing so tight and nervous. Especially Giannis. Let me see what his averages are and stuff like that. KD and yeah, so Giannis is 30 points total. So Giannis is doing his thing, and KD, he's actually doing better than KD, but he is younger and pretty much probably more athletic. KD is a shooter. Even though it's taller, I believe. So yeah, that's still doing its thing. I don't think. And this one starts at 10 o'clock. So again, recapping it. Suns, Jazz. I'll go with the Jazz because they have home court. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee. Playing the Sixers. Probably the Sixers because of Joel Embiid. So I'm going to go Sixers. I'm going to go Sixers probably all the way. I don't think anybody has, as far as what I've been hearing, anyone that can stop Joel Embiid. And they have Ben Simmons. And plus I have some Ben Simmons rookie cards, so that's going to help me out. And I probably have some Joel Embiid rookie cards. So right now I'm going to say Sixers, Jazz, and probably the Sixers winning it. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Again, unfortunately, so they did get it closed. So they probably took a timeout. And it's probably going to take a look. I don't know if... Let me see if I can look at the box score. Does it show timeouts? I think, yeah, they both have one timeout left. They used their timeout as expected. And that's probably going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like, what was it, 30-second timeout maybe? So let's say they hit a 2 and it goes back to 3. 7 seconds. So they missed it? Did they miss it and then they fouled? They probably did that. Well, no. Did they? So I'm assuming that they, and this is probably has a delay. I'm gonna say that the Sixers missed. Hawks got the rebound, but they didn't use their timeout yet, so something happened. They either probably did the intentional. Yeah, they must have intentional foul, and yeah, they probably intentionally fouled. And I don't know if there's a delay. So they foul, and then they're going to use their timeout after they're finished with the foul shots. So they probably intentionally... Joel Embiid's a good foul shooter, so I don't think they would have fouled him, but... I didn't see any scores yet, so that scares me if they missed the foul shots or not. If they miss one, that's crazy. Anyways, maybe we'll talk about it next time. Let me know if you like this format. I'll see you guys later.